Hey guys, welcome to the Something About Tuesdays podcast. I'm your host, Phebe Joi. Join me every other Tuesday for a lighthearted podcast to keep you company while you do your thing. Hey guys, welcome back to Something About Tuesdays, episode 16. I'm your host, Phebe Joi, and hi. Hey, welcome. I'm so glad you are here. Thank you for the new follows on Instagram. I saw a couple of friends added me on there. Thank you all so much. It makes me feel good. So thank you to those who have done that. I always like to say thanks to those who have, left a review or gave me 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify or answered the little questions on there. I love the interaction. It's fun. And even my friends who just talk, they just tell me, hey, I listened and let me respond. Thank you guys for still being there and supporting me. I love it. So, hi, y'all. I am... Okay, you know how sometimes, some days, you just feel like chill? You're just like, yeah, this is groovy. It's been kind of one of those days. And I love it. And I think part of it is because of the chill in the weather is making me feel chill. Excuse the corny pun. But, I say it's a slight chill. It's still very we have some hot days, but I have had a couple of days where there's been like the teensiest, tiniest little bit of chill in the air that makes me think fall is coming. The nights are cooling down. They're getting in the 50s and I'm getting excited for it. This past Saturday was the first day of fall, September 23rd. I think last episode I was like, it's the 22nd, 21st, 23rd, one of the ones. It was the 23rd. But here we are. We are here in fall. And y'all know, you know, I have to, I can't enter into a new season without talking about all the things that I am excited about this next season. I mean, you've got to look at it because each season brings something, right? And I've said that from the get-go, that every season has just something good and special about it. And in fall, here we are. And so I do have to open up with the greatest things about fall. And one of the things that I've noticed, look, I was chill. I was chill for like 2 seconds. And now thinking about fall, I'm all excited again. But no, the leaves, I've been trying to pay attention to the leaves for the last probably like a month since September started. I was like, I really want to see when these leaves start to change. And I am very blessed because I think I've told you guys on my drive to work, I drive through like nature and trees and things. And so I've been paying attention and I love when it's like green and it's just, majestic in that way. But I've noticed that the leaves are starting to change colors. I've tried to pay attention like every week and the leaves are changing. They're turning, the ones I've seen so far, yellow. I've seen the yellowish color. I haven't seen the beautiful reds yet. I have seen some browns. That could be because we haven't had that much rain at all. So we do have some brown leaves out there, but the leaves are starting to change and the skies, you know how the sun can have that golden hue. It's different than a summer kind of gold. It's the fall gold. It's that autumn. It makes you want to say autumn and not fall. But the sky is starting to get when the sun is going through the trees and things and kind of reflecting off of the colors of the leaves. And it feels golden. This feels like a very just warm time, getting into fall. I'm ready for the coziness. I would have to say, man, if there was a word to describe fall, it would be cozy. Can you picture? So this is the time where we have bonfires, right? And this could be big bonfires with a bunch of people and you're all roasting marshmallows and listening to music, or it can be the more casual fire pit type where you're just maybe you, a couple friends, maybe just you and your special somebody, just sitting around the fire pit, either talking, chilling, or making s'mores. Because that's one thing I absolutely love to do. In fact, So a couple years ago, I had this huge, y'all, I was on a s'mores kick for whatever reason. And so some friends of mine at school, we had kind of like a s'mores, I don't want to say a s'mores party, but we were like, okay, we know we're going to, hang around a fire pit. So let's bring a variety of different type of s'mores toppings or they're not really toppings because they don't go on top of anything, but the inside of it. It's funny because I'm thinking of it like a sandwich, but the inside toppings. So we had, of course, you got to have your marshmallows. So we pretty much stayed, yes, we got to have marshmallows, but we had different size marshmallows. And then we had different types of candy bars. Like if you get the mini candy bars, yes. So we got of course, so we had the Reese's. I love Reese's, and I think actually it ended up being one of my favorites. I have the Reese's. I got the thin ones. I think it probably would have worked with the thick ones too, but having the thin Reese's, dark chocolate. I love dark chocolate, so dark was amazing, but milk chocolate was pretty good too. And adding that on your s'more instead of just a regular Hershey's was amazing. And yes, I did say Reese's. I know, it's Reese's. It's Reese's. But man, I don't know where that came from. Like, I know I'm not the only one that says Reese's. Like, I don't think anyway. But so I had some Reese's. But I think I had the mini size of was it Milky Way? I think it was Milky Way, but it was the caramel Milky Way. And that was really good. So if you're into s'mores, of course, do your traditional s'more. But if you want to have fun, do a s'mores bar, like a taco bar, but do a s'mores bar and get all the different kinds of chocolates and like things that you can put on there. And it is so good. And then even during that phase, this is how you know I was totally feeling s'mores at the time. This might have been before we got our fire pit, and so I would crave s'mores. So I found a recipe, I guess, not a recipe for s'mores, that's pretty easy, but a way to cook them on Pinterest, which is to broil them in your oven, and it doesn't take long. And so I would broil them. I'd get my pan out, cooking lessons with Phoebe, but I'd get my pan out, spray it. I'd put my graham cracker on there, just one though, one graham cracker and the marshmallow. I'd stick it in there, let it broil for like literally just a couple minutes. You have to watch it because it broils quick and it'll burn fast. And then take it out, flip it on the other side to the second graham cracker because they'll get burnt, and then put the chocolate in there, put it in there for like 10, 15, 30 seconds, take it out, and it is so good. And I would say it's pretty on par with what you would get at the bonfire. Not near the same experience as far as the joy of being outside when it's chilly but being warmed by the fire. But it definitely, the taste is still there. You don't get the taste of, you know how sometimes I'm one of those that when we make your marshmallows, I would have friends often, a lot of times they would just, stick the marshmallow in the fire, let it catch fire, and then blow it out. And, it's like crispy and all that stuff. I would try my absolute best and take my time to get my marshmallow to be the most golden brown. When I was younger, I would just, and then the worst, right, is if you spend so much time trying to get this beautiful golden brown marshmallow just for it to drip off. If you weren't paying close enough attention, you're like, no. Or you get too close to the fire and it does catch on fire and you're like, no, not my beautiful golden marshmallow. So when I was younger, I did take a lot of time and pride in trying to create this beautiful, crispy, brown, not burnt, toasty marshmallow. But these days, when I've made marshmallows, I've kind of taken on the tactic of just catch the thing on fire and blow it out, and it's good enough. If you catch me on a good patient day, maybe a chill day like today, I would be willing to just wait it out and get that perfect marshmallow. Doesn't that sound good? Isn't that like the epitome of fall? Is the chill in the air, but the coziness of the fire, coziness of being around friends. I think like this time of year, and this kind of leads into my thoughts on winter too. is that it's cold outside. And so we have to do, I mean, there's a lot of outdoor things we can do, but we do a lot of stuff inside too. But it's where a lot of the holidays are. And so you spend a lot of time with your family and your friends. And they're the cozy holidays. It's, Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, it's, all the holidays. There's more depending on what you believe, but they're like the reflective type, like end of the year, appreciating what you have holidays. And so that just brings a warmth, like not physically, but like mentally and emotionally, and you just feel like, I'm around my people. This resets me. This reflects, I can reflect on this past year and be grateful. I know it can also be a tough year depending, but if you, I guess, set your eyes on the things that you have, then that can help. I know my book club, actually, we just met yesterday, and one of the things that were talked about was thinking about, the good things in your life and being grateful for them, and thinking about their purpose. Not everybody is blessed with what you have, so why do you have it? Like, are you using it for good, or, are you appreciating it? If you have been blessed with an amazing family, do you appreciate them? Is there a reason? Like, can you show that warmth to another family? All those things were talked about in our book club. But this season kind of makes me think of that, the changing of the seasons. That was mentioned too. Every season changes, and that can be obviously physically, spiritually, mentally. We all change states, which is a good thing. Whether, you're like, no, I love the state I'm in. Yes, I'm glad. It will change, but that doesn't mean it's bad. There's beauty in every season. And I think that's kind of the reason why I try to focus on, at the beginning of each season, I already want to enter it thinking about what's going to be beautiful this season, preparing for it, thinking about it, doing what I can to make it happen, because I don't want the season to pass by without noticing those things, or without intentionally, making those things happen. I want to intentionally make a s'more this fall. Those things. So yeah, not to go off on a tangent there, but that's just, I guess that's kind of where my thoughts go when I think about fall and the coziness of all of that. This is the time where, you can go for walks and you're not sweltering at the end of it. You're not sweating like crazy. This is where you can drink your warm drinks, like your apple ciders. And honestly, if you're into the pumpkin spice latte thing, I'm not a pumpkin spice person, really. Not a huge pumpkin person. I do like, there was this one, man, it was that homemade ice cream and pie kitchen a long time ago. They don't sell them anymore. Look, food episode again. They don't sell them anymore, but they were like this pumpkin spice roll that they used to sell. And it was like this pumpkin spice cake thing. I say roll, but I think it was a cake. And man, and it would only come out in the fall. And I have to admit, that was good. That was phenomenal. But they haven't had them anymore. So aside from that, I'm not a huge pumpkin person, but I do like my warm drinks. And honestly, I still order my warm drinks. Like when I go to Starbucks or really anywhere, I'll get the chai latte, and I absolutely love it. Here's my order, okay? Not that you care, but we're gonna share, because I'm just your friend keeping you company, But I like my tall chai latte with almond milk, with caramel syrup and caramel drizzle added with light whip. That's my drink. That's my perfect drink. And it's so good. Starbucks nails it every time. Heine Brothers, they nail it too. I love my warm drinks. And so I'm excited. Actually, for my birthday a couple weeks ago, I asked my sister, I was like, can you give me a Starbucks gift card? I know for a while it was kind of trendy to give everybody a gift card to Starbucks, or at least I felt like it was in my neck of the woods. And then I guess it kind of faded. But I'm like, you know what? I kind of still want it, because sometimes, especially in this new season, getting into fall, I'm ready. I'm ready for those warm drinks to get that stop on the way to work or on my way home. I am ready for that warm drink, for the slowing down. And honestly, the fall is like the slowing down before the bustle of winter, because winter is bustling. And not bussin', it is bussin'. Y'all, I learned what that meant with my kids at school. I was like, what is bussin'? They're like, it's good. That's bussin'. I was like, what? Now, this was my kids last year. I don't know if kids still say it this year. I have no idea. But anyway, so winter is bussin' and bustling. Very busy time. And so fall is like that. You get a little bit of time to slow down, from the busyness of summer, because that's your time where you vacation, you're out a lot. I mean, it's the long days. So, getting up, staying out late. In fall, it's like, okay, all right, let's slow it down a little bit. Sometimes the weather will cause us to slow down and things like that before it all, gets wild and crazy again for the holidays. But I think that's what I enjoy about fall. That's what I really like. It's the slowing down, appreciating and noticing the little things. Actually, this makes me think about, so my husband's birthday is in September as well. And so I went to the store to get him a birthday card, and I got him a card, I got him a gift card, and I'm checking out in line. And as I'm checking out, the lady's like, how are you doing? Doing good. I like your hair. Thank you. And then, as she checked out, she said, hey, enjoy your husband's birthday. And I was like, oh, thank you, and I realized that she paid attention to, what I had. You might think it's a little weird, but she paid attention to what I had. And she just, gave a quick shout out like, oh, hey, enjoy your husband's birthday. But what she did was she personalized the experience. Like it's the little things. She noticed the little things. And from that, she was able to connect with me. And it was real quick, but the errand of getting his birthday card, it became a significant moment in that day because she took the time out to personalize the experience for me. And I thought that was pretty cool. I know in the industries, like in whether it's in service industry or food industry or things like that, it can get very caught up in just, here, give me that, I'll give you that, the exchange of goods and services. But anytime you can personalize things, I think it's pretty awesome. I know, like when I have a waiter or waitress, I do try to say their name. I don't know if they want me to, honestly. I don't know if they're like, don't call me my name. You don't know me like that. Or if they don't mind. And I will say that when I call them by name, it's not to yell at them or be like, hey, so-and-so, you're missing this. It is just be like, oh, hey, thanks for bringing that or whatever. So anything to kind of personalize it. Because then that person becomes becomes a person. Like that human being all of a sudden stops being, title server and becomes so-and-so. And for the lady in the store, I no longer was just a customer, but I was, a young lady who was celebrating her husband's birthday. So, that stood out to me, and I just love that idea. You guys know I'm always looking for moments of ways to positively impact other people's life and to appreciate when people, do it for me too. And I always say on here, like I love this podcast because I love being able to share that. And I want to share it with you guys and all of that. But man, it's also for me too. Like I love the fact that I get to reflect myself on these things that happen and, can remind me, okay, this is what I need to do. Or just remind me that, hey, life is good and there are kind people out there and you should be that kind of person. And that is who I want to be. But yeah, so that was that. And then with fall, I have to continue if you could see me right now, man, I just have this, I'm like looking up into the ceiling. I'm smiling, just like, and because I had another just warm, cozy thought, I went into the store, I'd went into Kirkland's, and honestly, that wasn't my intention. I had first went into Ross, and just because I was like, let me jump into Ross and just see what kind of clothes they have. I just feel like shopping a little bit, that retail therapy. And after I left Ross, it just so happened to be right next to Kirkland's. And Kirkland's is a home decor store with all kinds of lovely, home things and when I walked in, immediately I was hit by the smells of the candles or of the different smelling type things. They had more than candles in there, but I walked in and it was like autumn incarnate. Like I can't even say fall. I have to say autumn because Smelled so good. And of course, it's nicely decorated because that's the whole purpose of the store. But I walked in and this was probably, I guess, just last week, honestly, not even a week maybe. So it hadn't been fall quite yet. But I was like, oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. Like, I walked into that store and I was like, oh, man, it hit me. Okay, so if you're the person who you're like, man, I don't know if I'm ready for fall. I don't think I'm ready. Go to a home decor store, find one near you. Walk in, let the smells hit you, let the sight hit you, all the decor and the signs and the pumpkins and all those things, let them hit you and you'll be like, okay, now I'm ready. And honestly, I think it comes down to the smells. I like candles. I love the smell of things. And this past summer, I hadn't lit hardly any candles. Like I do. Normally I do, but I didn't this summer. And man, after going in there and actually I got gifted a candle. My pastor's wife gave me this awesome smelling candle and I've just been lighting it up, y'all. It's been smelling so good. And so I've been I'm ready. I am ready. It's candle season. I am ready. And it's kind of funny. And so this is coming out after the fact, so I can say this. So my one of my besties' baby shower is coming up this weekend. And I'm in the spirit of candles. And so for the door prizes, we're doing, I think, 5 door prizes. And I bought a candle for every single one. I was like, you guys, I am going to get you in the fall spirit. It's the last thing I do. And so I hope you guys enjoy them. If you're listening and you were at the baby shower and you just so happen to have won a candle, I hope you enjoy it. But I loved it. Man, it got me in the mood. I don't mean to say that over and over, but I was ready. Oh, it just got me ready. And so I'm like, okay, you guys maybe you don't have a home decor store near you. Go to your nearest, Walmart, Kroger, grocery store, dollar store, and just pick up a candle and take a whiff and let it hit you. Let it sink in and just breathe there for a second. Be like, okay, now I'm ready for fall. Now I'm ready to embrace all the things that fall brings. And I mostly target this. I think about this podcast, and I try to reach anyone and everyone. But I know that it might be a little easier for women to listen to me. But I also know that I've got some guy listeners out there. And so I will throw this out there for you guys because you're probably like, okay, enough of the like cozy, warm, fuzzy feelings. Football. Okay, so for you guys, or even, my ladies who like football, it is also football season. I'm not a huge football fan person. I don't know that I've ever watched a game entirely through, but so I do know it's football season. I'm not a fan of anyone in particular. My husband is a Dolphins fan, Miami Dolphins. I know that much. So he's interested in how they do. In this past game, they did, I think they did very well. I think they beat the team. I think they were playing against Colorado. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think they won that game. And I've never cared about, honestly, any team, but I started listening to a podcast back in 2020. And when I was listening, the guys who do that podcast, they are huge Kansas City Chief fans, and because that's where they're from, like that's where their podcast, that's where they live and all of that. And so they didn't jump on the bandwagon. This was before like Patrick Mahomes, I think, hit everything hard. And so I was listening to them, or it was right around that time, and just listening to their enthusiasm and their excitement over the team. And then with them, I believe they won the Super Bowl that year or somewhere around there. And then they got close the next year and they were just so pumped that I was like, okay, I'll root for the Kansas City Chiefs. And so I have to admit, I'm not saying that they're my team or anything, but I will say that if they're playing, I do root for the Chiefs and I do hope that they win. That would be my team. Holler at me. Let me know if you guys have your own team, if you're into the football thing. Man, and it's kind of funny because it was last year. I was like, I want to have a Super Bowl party. And I've not ever, like, we don't even have like cable or anything. So like, I don't even know how we'd watch it, but, just I want to have a party where we just get together and we, eat fun foods and like, drink our Cokes and Sprites, and that's as heavy as it gets, you guys. And enjoy just like, cheering somebody on and be like, yay or no, of watching a game. I feel like that would be fun. And so, yeah, any friends out there, if you guys have a good, clean Super Bowl party, holler at me. I don't even know. I think the Super Bowl, oh my goodness, this shows how much I do not know. I think it's on a Sunday, right? But we have church in the morning, and I think Super Bowl is in the afternoon or evening, right? It could happen, right? I don't know these things, y'all. I don't know. All I know is that there's a Super Bowl, and while I never really know who's playing or care, I just like the idea of getting together with friends and doing those things. And man, I remember, I don't know if it was like episode 1 or 2, I had just gotten with some friends and we had played a game, and I think I'm about ready for that again. Like, now we're in that slowing down mode, and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to kind of hang out with some friends and to laugh and have fun, and play those games again. But anyway, so that's my lovely introduction into fall. I couldn't wait to talk about it. I touched on it a bit last week, but here we are. We are into fall, and I am so excited. Okay, so enough about fall. I know you guys are like, oh my goodness, that entire episode could have been titled Fall and Food and Fall, and then that would have been good. But so I have a couple more things. I wanted to, this is a quick one, just touch base with you guys. So not that you care too much, but remember last month I started Audible, and I told you guys I had chosen Joyce Meyer. And I've been listening to that. I haven't finished the whole thing. Like I said, I listened to it in between all my other podcasts and things like that. And I've been trying to take some moments to, be silent and maybe, listen, maybe give God some opportunities to talk to me in those moments of silence, things like that. And so my next credit came through, and the one that I got is Atomic Habits. I haven't started it, but it was recommended again. And I was like, okay, if I'm hearing it from a few people, hey, I'm down. So I'm going to, listen to it. If it's great, I'll let you guys know. I'll be like, yes, get the book. I'll have to do a book recommendation, a book segment. But I did get that one. That's my next book. And then already, you guys, my next credit's up for my free trial. I think it comes out tomorrow. And I was trying to decide what I wanted. I saw where they had the Bible being read by, what's his name? James Earl Jones. Is that his name? I hope so. I hope I'm saying that right. James Earl Jones. And I was like, man, that sounds fun. Because you guys know his voice is just great. But then also they had like the dramatized version of the Bible. And I was like, man, that sounds pretty fun too. But I think you can also find those just in an app, because I know I have the U version of the Bible, which isn't dramatized. It just reads it in a nice British accent for, for reading the Bible, there to go in the Old English or whatever. Y'all, okay, since I went there, I recently wore a shirt that I got from my trip to the UK. I had wore a London shirt. And while I was there, one of the guys I work with and actually go to church with, he was like, oh, is you going to talk with a British accent today? And I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. That was terrible. I think I'm going to do that. And so, I ran around trying my best to talk with a British accent. And I'm trying now, and it's hilariously terrible, y'all. I think I've gotten worse since going to London. I think when I realized, you really don't sound British. But I was in the hallway, and I was trying to talk like a British person. And I ran into my principal, and she was like, hey. And I was like, hello. And she just gave me the funniest look. And I was like, I've been challenged to talk like a British person today. And she was like, oh my goodness, I cannot. And then one of the ladies I work with in my in the same department as me, working with our multilingual learners, she was like, oh, that's a terrible British accent. And she did her British accent, which was really good. But she was teasing. We were all just playing around, but it was so much fun. And my principal was just shaking her head like, oh my goodness. I'm telling you, pick an accent and just try it. Not to make fun of. I always have to give that caveat. We're not making fun of anything. But just to kind of try our hand at just sounding different. And when you do you take on a different personality? Like, I feel like when I try to speak with a British accent, it's not that I can look. I become more thoughtful and I have to think about the words that I'm saying. Oh my goodness, this sounds terrible. This is hilarious. I am so sorry. Y'all are probably listening to this like, oh my God, please stop. Okay, I'll stop now. That's funny. But I just randomly thought about that. How did I even get there? What was it? Was it British accent? No, it was before that. Oh, I was talking about Audible. Yes. I was talking about Audible and the reading of the Bible, but I do have a different app that also dramatizes the Bible. So I haven't decided. My last credit, I feel like it's such a big decision what my last credit will be spent on. I think I want to do it on, I thought about this because I was like, okay, I've gotten two books that are, nonfiction books, and they're, self-help or however, encouraging books and things. So I was like, okay, maybe I should go the fiction route. And I thought about, I should do like a series. And so I thought about doing, honestly, I used to listen to audiobooks a lot when we were younger. My parents, we were raised without a TV. And so we read books and we listened to books. And so one of our favorite audiobook sets that we listened to were the series C.S. Lewis, of course, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And we listened to the entire thing. I mean, I'm talking from The Magician's Nephew all the way through to The Last Battle. Yeah, if you know, you know, right? Let me see. I don't know if I can name them all. Okay, challenge. You try to name them and I'll try to name them. Here we go. So we got The Magician's Nephew, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. We've got Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I think that might be the fourth one. We've got, oh no, I know I'm missing one. I know we've got Prince Caspian. We've got The Last Battle. That's the last one. We've got, oh no, there's like, I think I'm missing two. Oh no, now I feel like I need to look it up. Oh my goodness, what are they? And you're probably sitting there like, I know them right now. They were a good set. Okay, I have to look it up. C.S. Lewis. Let's see. What were they? Oh, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Okay. So let's see. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. There's 7 books. Okay, so it's a 7-book set. We've got The Magician's Nephew. Good, that's the one I said. I knew The Horse and His Boy. Okay, I was thinking that. That was in my head. I just didn't say it. It was in my head, I promise. The Horse and His Boy. And then The Silver Chair. I do remember that one. Yeah. Okay. So those are the two I missed. All right. So just to recap, there's The Magician's Nephew, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Horse and His Boy, Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, which apparently was number 5, not 3 or 4, The Silver Chair, and The Last Battle. Y'all, those were some good books. I mean, I kind of do want to get that Audible just to re-listen to those again because they're good. Of course, they have like all the symbolism and everything, which makes it even better. But they were a good series. I feel like I would still enjoy them as an adult. So I might want to get that. I might want to try that. Yeah. And another one I thought about finding or listening to was one called Hind's Feet on High Places. That is, look, if you know that, please find a way to contact me and let me know you've listened to it because it's something that my mom listened to. And so my sister and I also listened to it. And my sister, I think she loved it even more than I did. I don't know, but we listened to it over and over. And it was good. It was good as a kid. It was encouraging as a kid. Hind's Feet on High Places. And I'm just curious if anyone else have heard of it or anything like that. But going back, thinking about all of that, that's making me think about, all the stuff we listened to. Okay. Does anybody remember? Of course, we listened to Adventures in Odyssey, like every Sunday morning. That's how Dad would wake us up, by turning on Adventures in Odyssey. But before, and a lot of people like know about Adventures in Odyssey. I think if you were a young Christian child in the 90s, then you know all about Adventures in Odyssey. But do you guys know about Jungle Jam? Okay. Now that one I feel like is not as, wasn't as out there as Adventures in Odyssey, but it was so much fun. We're the Jungle Jam friends. up. Like, come on, what you trying to? Yes, with Millard the monkey and all the other ones, and like Anita, Benita, the Cheetah Sisters. Oh, you guys, memories right there. Memory unlocked. We used to listen to that all the time. We used to listen. Okay, throwback. I'm telling you, find me if you've listened to this. Message me, GT and the Halo Express. Tell me someone else remembers that. Tell me you remember GT and the Halo Express. We would get those tapes. Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm dating myself. We would get those tape cassettes and we'd listen to them over and over. Man, those were the good old days. Ah, yes, man. It's funny because now that I'm older, I kind of want those type of things for my future kids. But I haven't looked. I'm like, does it still exist? I bet it doesn't exist, but there's got to be an equivalent these days. But I don't know how easy it would be to find because I feel like all the Christian bookstores and things are closing or have closed. So I'm not entirely sure how easy it would be to find or what kind of Christian things that they have out there. Oh, sorry. I just remembered. Can't forget VeggieTales. Of course, VeggieTales, because I think VeggieTales is still going. So there's VeggieTales. Man, oh, that's so much fun. That stuff makes you want to like hurry up and have a kid and be like, okay, you guys have to listen to this. Not this modern day stuff. You got to go back in the day to the good stuff, what it used to be. So yeah, man. Okay, all that from Audible, you guys. I love it. So I did get the Atomic Habits book. It's kind of funny, right? Thinking about habits, y'all. I've caught a bad habit lately. Lately I have been on this kick where I have been, and I can't say lately, I've always loved shoes. Okay. I've been a shoe person, a shoe girl. I mean, since I remember like when I was 9, I wanted my first pair of heels and I got my first pair of like 1 inch, not even the like platform type shoes. I always loved those, the thick soles in my gym shoes, all of that. And so as I've gotten older, I've just always loved shoes. Recently, I've been into luxury shoes and it has become, now I'm just like, everywhere I look. And I think I blame my trip to London too, because we were around so many posh people. No, we were around some fancy people and I loved what they wore. So no ill will towards them or anything. But I was like, oh, yeah, I gotta get me a pair of these luxury shoes. I've got to get me some nice fancy shoes like this. And so I've been just Poshmarking it up. Have you guys heard of Poshmark? Is where you can get some secondhand stuff, and so I've been Poshmarking me some luxury shoes. I love to, before I get like the real deal, like before I go and buy the real deal, I do kind of like to get the secondhand version, cheaper, to see like how I like the fit, if it's truly comfortable, worth the money. And then once I've done that, then I can be like, okay, now we can go full price on this. But that has been my latest habit. I say I've only so far bought 2 pairs of luxury shoes, but only so far. Really, that should be it for a little while, but I have been excited about them. And they are, man, do I even say, well, okay, they're Louboutins, some Christian Louboutin, the red bottom sole shoes. Y'all, I'm so excited. But just go ahead and know I did get them Poshmark. So I haven't got them full price, but one day I will, okay? One day I will. And you're probably like, judgment, who would spend that much money? Look, y'all. YOLO. I'm just kidding. Everybody has their thing. Let's go back to Joyce Meyer's book. What's her book called? Eat the cookie, buy the shoes. But anyway, I have been on this luxury shoe kick and I love it. Sometimes, different things appeal to you in different seasons. And in this season, I have just been feeling it. And it's been a fun season. So last episode, I had shared with you guys some kind of funny human moments. And to the point that I was like, I almost feel like I could honestly have a whole segment on that. And I thought about this one moment that happened this past year. When I think about it, oh my goodness. So when it happened, the podcast was going on at the time and I debated sharing it, but I'm like, okay, you guys know me now. Y'all know y'all get me at this point. So I can share this story without it sounding too bad. Okay. So I was at a church service and it was a special church service. It wasn't at my church. It was at a different church. And there was, singing and praising and worship and things like that. And because I was visiting, I was by myself. I was there to visit one of my best friends. And I was in the pew, and there a family came to join me because I was by myself. I don't want to say they came to join me, but they did come sit on the pew. And there was this lady who sat next to me. She was an older lady. Older, like probably like 70s, maybe 80s. She looked pretty old, but like not in a mean way, just like she looked older. And she sat next to me, and it was fine. So I'm like jamming, through the worship set, the praise set, and next to this lady. But I noticed that she would get kind of close, but she never got super close, it's fine. But when you're like, how sometimes when you're next to somebody, sometimes you make contact as far as like you might, look at them, or, you might, hey, how's it going? Give them a smile, like, hey, acknowledge you, or hey, we're praising God together, but there was no acknowledgement between us, this entire time. And towards the end, the pastor had come up, and I think it was the pastor, and we had just had a worship set. Everybody had been standing. The lady had stood, but then I think she sat down, and he was like, all right, guys, high five your neighbors and let them know, hey, good to see you or whatever. So I put my hand up to the lady, and she completely ignores me, like doesn't acknowledge that I exist at all. But she's like smiling and like looking around. And I put my hand, like, you guys, I put my hand right next to, like, almost not in her face, but just like I was right there, and I was like, okay. And I was like, well, maybe she's distracted, because she was kind of looking towards the other side, towards the guy next to her, who I think may have been her son or family or something like that. And so I high-fived some other people around me, and I went back to the lady, and I put my hand up again, and you guys, she completely ignored me again. And at this point, I'm like, is there something wrong? And I have to admit, and this is where I was like, okay, you guys do not judge me, okay? But so she was an older white lady, and I'm a young black girl, a young black woman, and I was like, maybe she doesn't like black people, like maybe she just feels some kind of way. And so I'm starting to get these thoughts, I was like, I don't know, like what else why would she just kind of look at me but not high five me? Like why would she do that? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with her? What is going on? I'm so embarrassed. Okay, and so I'm probably looking a little upset. Like maybe, I don't know if I had like, my face was kind of like, excuse me, but behind me was one of my besties' moms. And I think it was either her mom or her mother-in-law. I can't remember. But she leaned over to me, and she's like, Phoebe. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, she's blind. Yeah, you guys, in case you didn't hear that, she said she's blind. And y'all, when I say, I immediately felt so bad, because I was like, wait a minute. I just tried to high five this blind person twice. And I was sitting here getting offended that she did not try to high five me back. She's probably the sweetest old lady who loves everybody. But I was like, oh no. And y'all, okay, so we would take this terrible moment to find some good in it. And the good in it, okay, give people the benefit of the doubt. Don't jump to conclusions. It could be anything. It could this person was blind, and I did not know that. And I quickly jumped to conclusions. But you guys, I was like, oh my goodness. So afterward, I talked to my friends, and my bestie and her husband, he was like, I saw you trying to give her a high five. And he said that was so funny. I was like, oh my goodness. And I'm only sharing that story because you guys know, like, I am not trying to make fun of blind people in any way. This was not against her in any way. This was all me and my own issues and my own predicament and my own conclusions. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, you guys, oh my goodness. Like I am so sorry. Like, I just, like, who do you say sorry to? You just have to say sorry out into existence in the world. Like, oh my goodness, I am so sorry. I did not, I did not intend to high five a blind person. But I'm glad that, she didn't see that, or didn't, hear my thoughts, or, whatever, you guys. Oh my goodness. But that was just a funny human moment that I thought about from last week. And I was like, oh my goodness, I think I can share it now. I think that my peeps, my listeners, they know me enough by now to share that story without judging me too badly. But I thought that was pretty funny. I had a few more things that I wanted to kind of touch base on. I had a couple of sub stories that I wanted to mention. Of course, in this new position, I get the opportunity to substitute a lot. So this past week, I was able to substitute in a music class. Actually, I think this specific experience I'm talking about was probably more like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I subbed in a music class, and it was with fourth graders. And my co-teacher, my co-sub teacher had actually found this really cool website where you could create music. Like, it had instruments. Well, it didn't have instruments. Okay, let's see. It was this really cool visual where, depending where you touched the screen, because it was a touch screen, it would play a note, and it would leave it there until you removed it. And so you could, create a song, almost like a very, very light version of GarageBand. And so we were able to do that. And she had this really cool piano part, or what, you could change it. It could be strings or what have you. And then I added kind of like a drum beat. Like, oh, I wish I could remember what it was. Just some type of drum beat. If I was a beatboxer, I'd be doing it right now. If I tried, I'd embarrass myself. I would embarrass myself. It was like oh my goodness, I'm trying what was it? Oh, look, y'all, I can't even start. I tried. Did you hear my little, but I added a little drum beat, and so I'm sharing this only because, so the fourth graders came in, and so my co-teacher was like, all right, guys, we're going to try this thing where you're going to be able to create music, but before you do, we're going to show you how it works. And so we played for them our song, and the fourth graders, when they heard like the rhythm and the beat, they started being like, oh, this is cool. Like, the guys are like, oh yeah, we like that. And I just felt so cool. I was like, yeah, you like that? Oh, thank you. And they're like, yeah. And their enthusiasm, man, they thought it was cool. And so I felt like my coolometer, which just that phrase in of itself kind of is not cool, but my coolometer went up, and I was like, all right, like, these fourth graders, yay, they think I'm cool. And so it was fun. Afterward, they got to come up and create their own beats, and kids trying to be creative. It's great to watch. It's so good because a lot of things are kind of novel to them, and they haven't experienced all of life or, a lot of the world yet. And so they're full of ideas and original ideas and thoughts and things. And just some of the music that they were coming up with, it was funny. Some of it was a bit chaotic, but some of it was really good. Some got into it, and they would just like you could tell that they were really into it, and that they would take their time and try to figure it out. And some were just having fun, but regardless, it was really fun. They were very engaged. It was a blast. And I'm just sharing that story because it was a moment where I felt cool. And I was like, yeah, like, go me, we did it. We were able to make the fourth graders think we're cool. Now, if only we could get the fifth graders to think the same. But then on that same note, I think now this was this past week, I was able to teach the art class. And so this time, though, it was with the first graders, and we listened to this story. I had pulled up a story I think it's called The Day the Crayons Quit. And first off, cutest book ever. I mean, if you have a young kid, first grade age, 5, 6, 7, 8, read that book. It's the cutest. It's so cute. Each crayon has a reason for like why they're like, look, I'm done. Like, for example, the red crayon was like, you always use me to color the fire engines and the apples, and you use me so much, and we did a fun activity, but the kids were, they loved listening to that book. So I definitely, do suggest find the book, or even go on YouTube and find the read aloud. There's this interactive read aloud that the lady does. I say interactive, but it's more, what's the word? An animated book. Yeah, kind of like an animated read aloud. I think that's the word I'm looking for. But anyway, so that was really fun. The kids were very engaged. And so with that, we were able to do an opposite activity. So we were talking about, okay, the crayons, they're tired of being used in the same way every time. And so maybe instead of a yellow school bus, what color could we color it? And they were like, green, or purple. And we're like, yeah. Okay. Instead of a red apple, what color do we want to color? And then one of the kids was like, apples can also be yellow and green. I was like, that is true. You could use yellow or green. Or if you want to be random, you could use, purple, orange, brown even, because the poor brown crayon was, tired of being used for only certain things. It was fun. I loved that. And the kids, they just had a blast with it, honestly. So just throwing that out there, if you have kids, feel free to grab that book and do a fun coloring activity. And then last story that I want to share really quick is I was in kindergarten and they were so cute. Precious kiddos. But I had this one little guy, he came up to me, tears in his eyes with his pointer finger, sticking straight out. And he was like, teacher. And I was like, yeah. He was like, so-and-so bit me. And I said, oh no. Okay, let's go get to so-and-so. And this was a kid who, I'm not surprised, but he probably got bit by someone. He's one that I honestly would have thought would have bit someone else. So I'm like, okay, let's go figure this out. And I was like, tell me who it is. And so we bring the other little guy over. And I was like, little guy? And I don't know the kids, right? Because I'm just subbing in there, so I don't know them quite. I said, did you bite so-and-so? And he was like, yeah, but because he hit me. And then he looks up at me, like, because his head was down. And he was like, and then he starts talking. And I look and I see, y'all, he had like no front teeth. he had, I mean, at least his like top 4 teeth were gone. And I was like, I was like, this is the kid that bit you? Mm-hmm. And he owned up to it. He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, how is the kid that bit you the kid who's missing all his teeth? That was just the fun. It was just cute. Just out of all the kids that it could have been, it ended up being the little guy who was missing all his teeth, precious thing. And it was just funny. I tell you what, subbing and teaching, it's a blast. Like if you need your day to go by quick, if you need your day, I mean, kids can be uplifting. They can be a lot. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Teaching is not an easy profession, but it most definitely is rewarding. And it can be fun. It can be fun. I loved it. Anywho. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you'll have a great introduction to fall. I hope these next few weeks, these next few months, just bring about all the warmth and the coziness and the football that you want. That you reflect on all the things that you have. You may not have everything. We don't have everything. But we do have some things, and the things that we have, we can be so grateful for, and all the loveliness. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Please feel free to message me, leave a comment, leave a review, do all the things. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in a couple of weeks.